Hey, welcome back to the Confidad Podcast. I have a hair in my eye. Hey, welcome back to the Confidad Podcast. My name is Dan Tinquist, your host. So glad you chose to join us again today. We'll begin this episode like we do every single one, reminding ourselves what is true or what we hope to be true soon. Let's say it together, our fatherhood mindset. I'm the only one who can fulfill the father role I have, so I choose to do it well. I get to show up well for my kids. Imperfection is reality. Ownership is a choice. Today is brand new, so is tomorrow. I am wholly loved, so I will love wholly. Today in our equipping section, I want to talk about what does it take to show up well for your kids. Most of the time, what it requires of us is emotional regulation. And if that word sounds not even familiar to you, listen in close. If you know what it means, but you struggle with it, listen close. If you are an expert, call me. Let me know your tips, tricks, and otherwise. I'd love to know what you have done in your life, what habits and things you've done to set up so that emotional regulation is maybe a superpower for you. But when I say we get to show up well for our kids, I say it that way because it's an opportunity and a choice that we have. When we, say, for example, are coming home from work, how are we showing up for our kids? Because in that moment, you get to show up well for them, like it's an opportunity and it's a choice. And which one are you choosing? Are you choosing to show up well for your kids? Are you choosing to offload the stress from work and all the other pieces of baggage that you might be carrying? Or do you carry all that stuff in with you to the house? Or maybe you work from home and you go from your office into the rest of the home and you're carrying that whole big burden with you. I'll tell you, if you are carrying that and that's become your habit, or maybe you have another habit of between work and home, like you stop at the bar for a beer or two and that's how you offload, let me tell you that that's probably going to be just adding weight to what you're already carrying. So, what are you doing day in, day out when you come home from your passion project, from your work, from the thing that you have devoted your life to and your career to? How do you switch gears from passion, career to dad? Like, what are the keys that you are using to move from that place to home? I have 4 R's that I teach my clients to help them reset before they walk into the house with family or walk out of their office and into the rest of the house with their family. The first R is regulate. And there's several ways that you can do this, but one way that is really helpful that I've found and several other people have found and people way smarter than me have found is square breathing. Okay, there's lots of different breath techniques and things that you can do, but the way that I do square breathing is I put my hands on my chest and my stomach. You breathe in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, and hold out for 4. Now, I sped that up a little bit for the sake of time, but you really want to take 4 seconds or 5 or 7 or 8, however long you can do it, to bring that in. And what it does is it settles your heart rate. It starts to reset all of those stress hormones, and it allows your body to know and your brain to know, I'm moving into a different place. I'm going to do this. And if you do it on a daily basis, if you do it every day before you come home from work, what it starts to do is your body starts to know that it's coming and it starts to regulate itself, understanding like when I pull in the driveway and I put it in the park and I do this, it's a great way to remind yourself, okay, now it's becoming a habit. And your body starts to look forward to that and it starts to anticipate all of the different chemical balancing that happens. And like I said, people way smarter than me know exactly what happens, but what I know is it changes what you're carrying. It changes how you're regulated compared to if you were to just like get home and put it in park and walk inside and you're carrying all the stuff and you don't know what the kids are carrying. You don't know what kind of mood they're in or your spouse is in. And if you walk in unprepared, you don't know what's going to happen. And a lot of times that's where emotional dysregulation occurs, is because the kids are crazy, or there's a big mess, or there's a big fight, or something got broken, or someone got hurt, or someone's got a bloody nose, and you are not in a position that you're prepared to handle whatever is on the other side of that door. So you say, I'm at work, I'm providing for my family, I'm working really hard and I'm grinding. Fantastic. But how are you providing for your family once you come home? Because the way that you provide when you're away is less important than the way you provide when you're with them. The way that you provide emotional, physical, spiritual support and stability. So regulate yourself before you come in the door. Do your square breathing. Okay? That's step number one. That is the physiological step. The next step is a mental step. Reflect. So we go from regulating first to reflecting. Quietly reflect on your day. What are you carrying? Do you have any loose ends you need to wrap up? Or you have some stress? This is a great opportunity for you to practice reflection on your own emotional state. Are you angry? What are you angry about? Why are you angry? Are you sad? Are you lonely? Are you ashamed? Do you have some guilt? Do you have gladness? What are the other things going on in your own person that you can identify? So reflecting on those things and then understanding, like, basically what you're doing is you're bringing it to mind. And in my course, I can teach you a little bit more, like, what do you do when you know what emotions you have and what kind of physical sensations are matching these emotions and all of that. But for now, like, understanding, knowing what emotions you're carrying or what emotions you have is a really important way to reset yourself and understand what you might need or what you might be carrying as you walk into the house. Okay, so regulate first with square breathing, reflect next. 3, record. Write down any reflections you have, emotions that you're carrying, or maybe you have loose ends or like tasks that need to be completed you forgot to set a reminder for. And so either write them down in your planner or set a reminder, put an email or, a calendar appointment tomorrow to remember to do those things, right? Because if you're carrying in your mind, you have more things on your mind than you're able to carry when you come in. And remember, the whole point is resetting and being ready to show up well for your kids, right? So offloading in recording. Okay. So recording is literally offloading that, brain dumping before you walk in the door. Okay. The last thing is remind. You've done the things to show up. Your body is settled. Your heart rate's down. Your respiration rate is good. You've reflected. You're aware of where you're sitting right now. And you're not going to show up great every single day, right? You're not going to show up perfect and ready and happy and blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, real life happens. I'm not saying fake it. I'm saying become aware of your emotions. Become aware of what you are feeling, right? We should be having our feelings, not letting our feelings have us. Okay, so part of that is becoming aware of how to identify what to do once you know what's going on and what feelings you're having, that sort of a thing. Okay, so regulate, reflect, self-awareness, understanding where you're at, record it, offload everything that you can, everything to the next day so you can show up really well for your kids. And the last thing is reminding. So you're resetting here, and then the last one, you're reminding yourself, saying out loud what is true. Remind yourself who you are, that your kids need you to show up well and be present, and that you are able to do so day in, day out. Work is stressful. Life is stressful. Career is stressful. What things are you doing as a man to man up and show up for your kids? Right? Don't make excuses and be like, oh, today was so stressful and I just gave everything at work and I just have fumes left, guys. I need to sit on the couch and veg for a while. Sit on the couch and veg becomes a very addictive habit, and your kids start to pick up on that. When I say that we need to become predictable and consistent with our kids, what I don't mean is show up and veg out on the couch every single day and become a burden to your family. What I do mean is show up so well for your family that you are consistent and predictable in the way that you're responding to whatever situation's happening in your home. Is there emotional distress? Is there things going on? The kids had a hard day at school, or they maybe had a great day at school and they want to play with you and they're excited about it. All of those things require a response from a place of having been reset. Okay, if we want to respond out of love to our kids, it can't just be reactionary. Maybe you're in a great mood. You had a great day. You made a bunch of sales and you're killing it. You come home and it's like the doldrums and everyone's, bummed. And you're like, come on, guys, I had a great day. Stop killing the mood. Stop raining on my parade. Or maybe it's the other way. Your kids had a great day and you had a crappy day and you come home carrying that and your kids are trying to celebrate with you and have fun and play and engage. And you are just like, no, don't talk to me. I'm grumpy. Right? Real life happens. I get it. I'm not expecting nor do I operate this at 100% of the time. But if you operate this 80% of the time, if you're able to reset yourself and regulate, reflect, record, and remind yourself what is true every single day, becoming a habit before you get home, it changes how well you show up for your kids. And if this is the goal is like when you're 75, you have a great relationship with your kids and their spouses and your grandkids, and the legacy is being carried on with a really strong bridge, not just a giant legacy and no bridge, right? This is bridge building. This is what it looks like to become the dad that your kids need, to show up consistently, predictably, in a way that empowers them, in a way that empowers you, in a way that makes you the safest place for your kids. When they screw up, when they have issues or problems, or they're scared of something, are they running to you or are they running from you? Coming home reset is a powerful way to become the place that your kids run to when they're having problems, when they've made mistakes, when they're frustrated. So I hope the coming home reset is a helpful framework for you to say, okay, I'm going to regulate, I'm going to reflect, I'm going to record, I'm going to remind myself what is true every single day before I walk back in the door and engage with my family. It takes about 4.5 minutes. Honestly, it's not that long. I had one guy who I was teaching this to who said, I'd love to do that, but every time I pull in the driveway, my girls come running and screaming out of the house to greet me. And I was like, that's a great problem. Don't get mad about it and make excuses about it. Say, okay, I'm going to leave work 5 minutes early, because you can all leave 5 minutes early. I'm going to park down the street. I'm going to do my coming home reset out of sight and out of mind of my kids. And then when I pull in the driveway, it doesn't have to interrupt that beautiful moment of reunification. It can become a way that you show up for that beautiful moment of reunification in a powerful, consistent, predictable manner where you can carry whatever your kids are carrying that day. Goodness, struggle, frustration, sadness, loneliness. You can hold that space for them because you have manned up and you have done the work you need to do to show up as the dad that your kids need that day, the next day, and every day after that. So I hope you feel empowered today. I hope you feel encouraged. You're like, there is room for growth. There's places I can tweak in my life to understand that moving in this direction, moving into something that I can control, which is your emotional regulation, the way that you show up for your kids, then you don't have to try and control your kids to manage them, because it doesn't matter what they're carrying. It doesn't matter what happened in their day. You are strong enough and you are regulated. You are ready to carry the weight of whatever your kids are carrying today and all these days coming down the road. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in the next episode.